Foolish mortal, you have inadvertently tuned into the forbidden frequency. It's Zombie Astronaut's Frequency of Fear.
Welcome, fellow astronauts, to the Frequency of Fear. I'm your host, the Zombie Astronaut. As you can see, this room is filled with art. With my art. Some people are called painters because they paint. I am called an artist because I art. I arted all over those canvases there. Look at them. Looking upon them now, I have the urge to art right here, right now, in front of all of you. Now, this isn't just any art. This is evil art. I'm sure you've heard of the black arts. This is just like that, only without the S on the end. The S on the end of the art. Take this first painting. Montgomery Briscoe goes to an auction at the behest of his wife. While there, he purchases a painting of a gorgeous gypsy girl. Ignoring the painting's super-duper creepy background and his wife's utter hatred of it, he hangs the painting on his wall. He becomes obsessed with it, gazing upon it for hours. Then their story takes a turn for the stranger when Grace actually meets the gypsy girl. Listen now to Crisis, the Gypsy.
I would judge the painting to be somewhere between 40 and 50 years old, and it is in superb condition, as you can see. The frame alone is a work of art.
What are you waiting for?
Entirely hand-carved.
Oh, you're certainly not interested in a 50-year-old oil by a nobody.
We'll start the bidding at $50. $50, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait just a second, will you? I don't remember seeing that one before.
Well, it's right here on the catalog list.
Come, people, this is a magnificent example of portraiture. $50.
I want to see that one. Excuse me.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Thank you, sir. We have $50. May I hear 60?
Oh, no. Excuse me. I was just standing up to...
$60, please. 60? Oh, 60. Thank you, madam.
Ooh.
60. We have 60. Now, do I hear 70? Give me 70. $70. Yes, sir. Come right on up and get a close look. Now, we need $70. 70. I have 70. Do I hear 80? 80. 80. Very good.
She's good.
Now, do I hear 85? We have 80. Now we need 85. 85. Thank you, sir. 90. Thank you. 90 we have. Do I hear 100?
100.
Thank you, sir. Oh, a new man in the bidding.
110.
110. Do I hear 120? 120. $120 bid for the mysterious gypsy.
She's
We have
ravishing.
110. Do we hear 120? Very well. $110 once. 110 twice.
120.
Thank you. We have 120. Do I hear 130? 130. Madam? Very well. 120 once. 120 twice. This is a steal, you know, at this price. All right. So, to the gentleman with the red tie for $120. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Just step over to the cashier's table, if you will, sir. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, item number
Monty.
62.
Monty, are you out of your mind? We haven't any place for that thing. What are you going to do with it?
What?
Oh, I should have known better than to bring you to an auction.
And they will be
We
sold
can't afford to just throw away $120 on a whim.
It's not a whim, Grace. I want this picture.
Well, you got it. And I hope you have a spot all picked out for it, because it's not going in my house.
We all have uncontrollable urges from time to time. It was an uncontrollable urge that came over Montgomery Briscoe at an auction his wife Grace had insisted he attend with her. And suddenly, Monty finds himself the owner of an oil painting of a darkly beautiful girl with wild, long black hair and a brooding and sensuous look in her eyes. And so begins a baffling story of suspense, as Crisis invites you to meet the Gypsy. I'll be back with Act One right after this word. Now, Act One of The Gypsy.
Oh, come on, Grace. Don't be like that. I'm sorry. Well, you know they don't let you change your mind once you've bought something. Look, it's the first time in my life I ever bought anything at an auction. You've been trying to get me to come to art auctions for years. Okay, I came and I saw something I liked. Well, you bought those green lizard bookends and a trapezoidal bunch of yarn.
They are not lizards, they're gargoyles. And the yarn is a beautiful primitive wall hanging.
Yeah, it's primitive, all right, with twigs woven into it. It isn't even rectangular.
Of course it's rectangular. It has 4 sides. It's just that the sides aren't exactly even.
So it's a trapezoid. Ah, forget it. I'm going to have a good long look at my gypsy.
Really, Monty, it's just cheap art. I'm surprised the gallery would even handle any trash like that.
There. Oh, man. Look at her eyes.
If you wanted something like that around, you could have picked up a girly calendar for free.
And her lips. Look. That's uncanny. They look moist.
It's just a painter's trick. What are you going to do with it?
Huh?
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to hang it up.
Where?
Well, my den. Over my desk.
It's too big for the den.
Oh, no, it isn't.
The den isn't large enough to display a painting that size. You have to be able to get away from a painting to get the full effect.
Not this one.
Well, you can't put it in the den.
Well, then, how about the dining room?
You're kidding.
No, there's plenty of room there. See, where the mirror is now. We could move the mirror and...
No. This place was decorated professionally. The mirror stays put.
Why? Because we paid some guy named Pierre $2,000 to tell us we have a lousy taste in furniture? You know, it seems to me that if we're going to live in a house, then it ought to come
That's the reason you can't just go out and buy something because you have an urge. You have to consider how it'll look and where you'll use it in the total design.
Oh, so you know where the gargoyles and the primitive trapezoid are going.
Precisely where they're going. The bookends go on the top shelf of the bookcase in the den, and the trapezoid...
The den? Oh, you're not putting those hideous green monsters in my den.
That is just the touch we need to pick up the green in the rug.
Well, there's green in my picture. So why can't we put it in the den instead of the gargoyles?
The picture is out.
Hey, listen. Let's get one thing straight around here. I live here, too. Now, I haven't held out for much, but I am going to hang this painting.
Darling, there just isn't any place for it. It's too big. It's the wrong color. Its frame is too gaudy. No, it's totally wrong for this house.
All right. I'll have it reframed.
Does it really mean that much to you?
Yes, it does.
You can't keep your eyes off it, can you?
No, I can't.
It's really not all that great a painting, Monty.
I'm no art critic, but I know what I like.
You like dark girls with long black hair with snarls in it? And why did you marry a blonde?
I don't know why.
What?
I don't know why I like the painting, but I do.
Well, if it means that much to you, I'll find some place for it. But I don't know how I'll explain it to our friends.
Tell them it's a relative of mine.
Oh, sure. Well, come on, Gypsy. I'm not at all happy having you in my house. You're trying to steal my husband.
Galleries, art, auction. Alexander Art Auctions.
Alexander Art Auctions?
Hello, who am I speaking to, please?
This is Mr. Alexander.
Oh, well, this is Mr. Briscoe. Montgomery Briscoe. I was at your auction last night, and I bought a painting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye.
I just happened to be going over the checks and the receipts from last night, and your check is right in front of me, along with a record of what you purchased. We don't make refunds, Mr. Briscoe.
Oh, I don't want a refund. No, that's not it at all. I was just wondering if you could give me a little background on the painting.
Oh, well, I'm afraid not. As I said last night, the data sheet on that one was lost.
Oh, that's too bad.
But I can assure you, though, that you paid a very fair price for it.
Oh, I'm not complaining about the price. No, you see, I just wanted to know everything there is to know about the artist and the girl.
The gypsy?
Yes, the gypsy. I mean, it's always more fun if you know something about the history of a painting.
Yes, well, Delgado lived near Seville. I can remember that much about him. He was poor. He never attained much of any fame until after he died, poor chap. I'm afraid I couldn't say who he used as his model. Some local girl, I suppose.
Oh, yeah?
Well, suppose I make a note of your address, Mr. Briscoe, and if I should come across any information on the painting, I'll call you. I have your phone number here on your check.
No, don't call me there.
What?
No, that's my home number. I prefer you to call me at my office if you find anything.
Very well.
This number is 834-2665, extension 188.
188. All right. Yes, I'll certainly call you if we can uncover anything about your gypsy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Alexander.
Not at all. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Nice dinner, Grace.
Thank you. Everything go all right at the office today?
Oh, yes. Fine.
You're a little quiet tonight, Monty.
No. Am I? I didn't mean to be, sorry.
Well, can I get you something?
No.
Well, where are you going?
Where's the painting?
In the storage room. I really can't find a single place in the whole house where we can put it.
You're so beautiful. Tantalizing. If only I knew who you were. If only. If only I knew you.
It's been several days now since the mysterious gypsy came to live in the Briscoe household. The voluptuous girl in the ornate golden frame now stares out from the wall of the stairway leading to the second floor of the Briscoes' house. Arranged beside the larger painting are a cluster of 4 small paintings of odd shapes and sizes. It was a compromise reached after another argument. In sullen silence, Grace Briscoe pays the monthly bills at a roll-top desk in the master bedroom. Monty is somewhere in the house downstairs.
Monty?
Yes?
Can you come up here a minute?
Yes? What is it you want?
Oh, I thought you were downstairs.
Not quite.
What do you mean not quite? Either you were or you weren't.
I was on the stairs.
Oh, my Lord. Now, does that mean you're going to be standing in the stairwell mooning over that idiotic picture?
Is that what you called me up here to say?
No. Now, I've been going over the checkbook. Your little impulsiveness at the art auction leaves us a bit short this month.
How short?
Well, after I pay the lease payment on your car, we'll have exactly $114 to live on until your next paycheck.
We'll make it.
We will if you don't buy your usual lunches downtown.
I said we'll make it.
All I'm saying is we can't afford $6 a day for lunches.
I said we'll make it. Now leave it.
Look, you take over this job. If you think it's easy trying to keep everything current, prices keep going up on everything.
Don't talk to me about prices. Who was it that paid a fortune for 2 ugly, corroded bookends and a rancid hunk of amateur knitting at that auction, and you get on my back because I bought something I like for once in my life?
I wasn't even talking about that.
And then you tell me where and I can and cannot hang the picture because your precious Pierre might not like the color scheme.
Right. You can quit your blasted Spanish streetwalker anywhere you like. You haven't said a civil word to me since she came into this house. Who are you living with, me or that gypsy? You were out here sitting on the stairs under her picture, weren't you?
Oh, what?
Oh, look at her. Look at her. Oh, so help me, if she were a real woman, I'd scratch your eyes out. Stop that! Oh, what do you think you're doing? You're ripping her face! You're right. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'll leave you two alone since you care so much more for her than you do for your own life. Oh, no. No. Look what she's done to you. Look what she's done to your beautiful face. All he cares about is that horrid painting. Doesn't care that I've tried to keep a lovely home for him. Oh, no, no. He just sits there and has an affair in his mind with that cheap gypsy. Well, if he thinks I'm going to wait on him hand and foot while he dreams up his fantasies with a 50-year-old painting, he's sick. He's sick. He's sick. If I stay there another minute, he's going to make me as crazy as he is.
Lady.
What? Oh.
Hey, you talking to yourself?
No. What do you want?
You got a cigarette?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't smoke. Now, if you'll get out of my way...
Where are you going?
I don't see that it's any of your business. Who are you? What are you doing lurking around this neighborhood? This is a respectable neighborhood.
Yeah. Hey, you frightened of me?
Get out of my way.
Where are you going in such a hurry?
I'm going down to the mailbox on the corner to mail these letters.
Pretty late at night for you to be out.
Look here. Who are you to be talking to me?
Who am I? Hey, stop here by the street light. Now, take a good look. You know me, huh?
Oh, you can't be real.
What's the matter, lady? You don't like gypsies?
Who are you? Is this some kind
You know gypsies. We don't stay a long time anywhere.
You're the girl in the picture. Oh, but you can't be.
Too bad you don't like me.
Don't like you? You're stealing my husband.
I told you, gypsies don't stay too long in any one place. Pretty soon, I leave. So why you scratch up my face, huh?
Your face? Oh, your face. It's bleeding.
Ah, but nothing like your face is gonna bleed.
No.
Come on,
no,
shadows, blonde lady.
Briscoe here.
Mr. Briscoe?
Yes?
Mr. Alexander. From the art auction.
Oh.
You do remember, several months ago, you purchased a particular painting from me?
I remember.
Yes. Well, you asked me to get you some background on it, remember? Well, we were inventorying here yesterday, and believe it or not, I came across the whole story of the gypsy in the painting. That is, if you're still interested.
Apparently you didn't know.
No? What do you mean?
The painting is gone. Someone stole it.
No. When?
While I was down at the hospital, identifying the body of my wife.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Briscoe. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Well, perhaps under the circumstances, you just as soon forget.
No, if you can tell me something about the painting, I'd like to know.
Well, here it is in a nutshell. It seems Delgado painted the gypsy from life. There was a live model. She was a gypsy, a girl about 24 years old.
Yes. Yes, I'm not surprised.
But the odd part is He painted her in prison.
In prison?
Yes. As he came every day to the prison where she was being held. And on the very day he completed the painting, she was executed.
Executed?
For the murder of a woman. The wife of her lover. Over 50 years ago.
Well, in the light of the strange relationship that grew between Monty Briscoe and the painting he felt an irresistible urge to own, we can only wonder whether the idea of having the portrait of the gypsy in his home was entirely Monty's, or if somehow the gypsy herself exerted a sort of supernatural influence on him. And while we're wondering, what do you suppose ever became of the scarred portrait of the gypsy? Who knows, maybe it'll turn up again at another art auction and tantalize another unsuspecting buyer, like perhaps you.
Such good dry toast. You know what's really good on dry toast? Really, really dry toast is you throw like a brain in a blender, get it nice and creamy and frothy, and just spread it on top of the toast. It's what are you doing that for? Play the music. Welcome back, fellow astronauts. What in the heck is that? That's not the music I want. Welcome back, fellow astronauts. Our next story is about a killer canvas even more malicious than the gypsy. Roderick stumbles upon an evil painting of a midnight horseman. He soon discovers that if a certain spell is performed, he can actually hear the horseman approach. But what happens when the horseman gets there? Listen now to Macabra's The Midnight Horseman.
Man lives in a world of time and space. He lives in a spectrum of the universe. When he ventures beyond this limit, he is in the unknown, a realm where strange forces are brought into play. When man attempts to misuse these forces, he is sometimes destroyed. This is Macabra.
The Far East Network presents, in special performance, Macabra. Tonight's story, The Midnight Horseman.
Gentlemen, if you will step down this corridor, I will show you some of the newer paintings which have just arrived.
Really, Roderick, that's all I've heard about since I married you. The house looks like an art gallery now.
Come on, Belle. Let's see what the man has. Jason, you and Ella with us?
Yes, Rod. Thanks to you, I know every art dealer in town personally.
Don't be so hard on the boy, Ella. Boy, he shops for paintings as you would for hats. Who knows? Someday he might find a lost Rembrandt.
Hush!
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the find of the century. The artist is an unknown Oliver Turnquist. It is called The Lake.
What is the price?
Its value has not yet been determined. It was part of an estate sale we purchased recently in Europe. I should say in the neighborhood of $10,000. Notice the clean strokes of the brush, the
Roderick, in the corner. Do you see that?
No. Where?
The picture of a knight on horseback.
What are you two whispering about?
Yes, I see it. May we see the painting of the horseman?
The horseman?
Yes, the old canvas in the corner.
Oh.
The one with the knight.
That one. That really is not for sale. It shouldn't even be out here.
Then why is it on display?
It was part of the estate sale I mentioned. A very sketchy background, a painter unknown. I intended to repack it.
Oh, Jason, he's trying to be mysterious to up the price.
Does it have a title?
Yes, the Midnight Horseman. Dates from the 13th century.
What an ideal wedding present for you and Jason, Ella. It's ghastly. Besides, he hasn't asked me.
'Tis said that all Irishmen marry late in life. I'll get around to it, my dear, in time.
May I have a closer look?
I would prefer not to show this...
Mr. Blum, we just want to look.
Very well. But I cannot be responsible. You bring this on yourself.
Don't let him stick you now, Roderick. That's an old gag.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. A portrait, one that should never have been painted. An old canvas, 700 some odd years. I ask you to examine it quickly and then allow me to put it away.
Oh, Roderick, it's terrifying. You're not going to buy that. I won't have it in the house.
I'm just looking at it, Belle.
Magnificent. A black-hooded knight with a silver lance, seated on a white horse by it.
It is supposed to have been posed by a knight about 1250 A.D. He was betrothed to the Princess Belinda when she was abducted and slain by a ruthless baron. Years afterward, he would search the inns by night in quest of the slayer. The legend grew. It was said centuries later that the flying hoofs of the midnight horseman could be heard searching the countryside for his beloved Belinda and the cruel baron.
An interesting story, but I don't see why you should be so upset by it.
You see, sir, the portrait's been in my possession about 10 days, and it's hard to explain, but it seems to be more than just a portrait. I am afraid of it.
Fine showmanship. That lad, Mr. Collin. He's just raised the price by at least 10,000.
Why, it's just awful, sitting there with that black hood. He looks like a hangman. Roderick, I won't have it in the house, and that's final.
Good. I'll remove it from...
Mr. Blum, what do you think, Jason?
For some reason, I think the man is actually frightened by his superstitious ignorance. The painting is a masterpiece, nothing else. Buy it if you can.
I'll give you 10,000.
Please, Mr. Linfield, you are a man of wealth, and I am but a poor dealer in the arts. Do not tempt me with
I've got to have that portrait. 12,000.
Don't do it, Roderick, for my sake.
15, my final bid. What do you say, Mr. Blum?
A hard bargain. Very well, if you must.
Good boy, Roderick, good boy.
I do so with reluctance. They say that man makes his own hell. I hope you haven't just made your own.
Supper fit for a king, Belle. I'm going to hire that cook right out from under your pretty nose one of these days.
I'm glad you and Ella could stay, Jason.
Brinkley?
Yes, sir.
We'll take our drinks in the library.
Very well, sir.
You girls join us?
Oh, no, not with that picture in there, we won't.
Go ahead. We have plenty of girl talk to catch up on anyway, don't we, Belle?
Come on, Roderick. It seems we're not very popular with the fair sex at the moment.
Right, we'll see you later.
Ah, wonderful girls. Wonderful. I may just marry Ella one of these days.
Now, don't get carried away.
What happened to the heat? Do you feel a chill?
Since you mentioned it, yes. I'll have Brinkley check it out when he brings our drinks. Now, let's examine the prize.
Where did you put it?
It's already hung over the fireplace.
A magnificent find. Oh, you stole it at the price.
There he sits, a hooded knight in black armor, poised, waiting.
I see what the art dealer meant. Look, Roderick, at the lance he carries. I can almost understand Blum's feeling that he's more than a portrait.
Yes. At any moment, you expect him to hurl the lance. There's something about it, Jason. Take the hood. Can't see his face, but his eyes seem to burn right through.
Yes. That proves my suspicions. Roderick, I think I know what's wrong with this portrait.
Shall I serve the drinks, sir?
Yes, Brinkley, bring them in. Brinkley, is there anything wrong with the heating system here in the library?
Oh, why, no, sir.
Then why is this room so cold?
Strange, sir. It became this way shortly after you returned from the city today.
I see. Thank you, Brinkley. That'll be all.
Yes, sir.
What do you make of that?
My boy, I'm going to spend the night by the portrait. I'll need my notes. They're in Ella's car. And your books on the occult.
Jason, you about ready to leave? We've taken up these people's whole day.
Ella, I'm not going with you tonight.
What?
Ella, dear, drive home like a good girl now. I'll see you tomorrow.
You're spending the night here?
I have a few notes to make.
Jason Van Horn, you're heading for trouble. I'm psychic, you know. There's something wrong with that portrait. I'm warning you to leave it alone.
Ella, will you go home?
Ella, will you go home? Who do you think you are anyway? Well, let me tell you, it's just as well I didn't marry you.
Take my notes out of the car before you leave. She's a spirited little devil, isn't she?
I think you should go with her and forget the whole thing.
Roderick, my boy, leave old Jason alone now. I promise you that by morning we'll have some news. We'll know exactly why they're all afraid of the Midnight Horseman.
Phone.
Oh, who's that?
Hello?
It's the middle of the night. Who is it?
Hello?
Roderick?
Yes? It's Ella.
Oh.
You, want to talk to Belle?
Please, may I?
Yes, just a moment. For you, Belle.
Thank you. Ella, are you all right? What's wrong?
Is Jason still there?
I guess so. We left him down in the library after you left. Why?
Ye gods, what's eating her?
Ella, is there anything wrong?
It's hard to explain. I get those feelings. I don't understand them myself, Belle. Jason's in trouble. Please ask Rod to look in on him.
Why, of course, dear. Now, don't you worry about a thing. I'm sure he's fine, but we'll check just to make certain.
Oh, thanks.
Go back to sleep, dear. I'll call you tomorrow.
Sure, thanks again. Good night.
Good night.
What the devil was that all about?
Ella's worried about Jason. Maybe you'd better go down and see if he is all right.
What could happen in the library? He's probably asleep.
Rod, would you mind looking? I told her you would.
I think it's high time she married Jason. Getting more like an old maid every day.
Oh, Rod.
All right. I'll go down to humor both of you. Guess I'll have to agree. The picture is causing too much trouble. Maybe it had better go. Library door still closed. Not a sound from in there. Must be asleep. I'll knock quietly on the door.
Mr. Van Horn asked not to be disturbed, sir.
Brinkley, what are you doing up?
I have an upset stomach, sir. I went to the kitchen for a remedy.
Did you check on Mr. Van Horn?
No, sir. As I said, he asked not to be disturbed.
When did you retire?
About 11, sir.
To your knowledge, is he still in there?
Yes, sir. I have heard nothing since you left him last evening.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'd better have a look. Jason? 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 Are you in there?
Perhaps we should go in, sir.
Yes, Brinkley, perhaps we should.
Strange. There seems to be no heat in the library.
No light either. Don't turn it on yet. Although it shouldn't be off if he's working. Look around. Can you see him?
No, sir.
Something peculiar here. Jason.
The portrait. It's no longer over the fireplace.
Brinkley, by the hearth. Shadow.
Yes, I see it. It's sitting on the floor.
Does that look like Jason to you?
No, sir.
Quick, the light. We may be too late.
Why, it's Mr. Van Horn, sitting on the floor in front of the portrait. His eyes are open, sir. But he doesn't move. Is he dead, sir?
We'll see. Pulse is all right. No. Some kind of trance. Jason, snap out of it. Wake up.
Perhaps if we turn the portrait around, he seems to be staring at it.
Go ahead. Try it.
There, sir.
Yes. He's stirring.
What's the matter here?
Get us some brandy, Brinkley.
Yes, sir.
And remember, not a word of this to Mrs. Winfield.
I quite understand, sir.
Roderick, I thought I told you...
What time do you think it is?
Oh, why, just a little after midnight. Now, what was that?
It's nearly 4:30, Jason.
I see. Thanks, Roderick.
You were staring at the portrait.
Apparently, among its accomplishments is a strong hypnotic power.
What did you find out?
No wonder Blum didn't want to sell. He also knew the truth.
Meaning?
My boy, this was painted by a medieval alchemist or a man with occult powers. An entire ritual is depicted in symbolism. I've copied it down on paper. See?
What does it add up to?
Just this. Give me a day to correct these figures. Tonight we'll perform an experiment that has waited through 7 centuries for fulfillment.
What are you talking about?
Roderick, lad, if I can duplicate this ritual faithfully, tonight, right here in the library, we may stand face to face with the real Midnight Horseman.
What's the time?
Nearly midnight. Everything is set. Portrait in a square, facing north. We've drawn a circle around us. Each holds a fresh tree branch. Exactly at midnight, we recite the words. This is a rare moment, Rod.
There's something unnatural about this, Jason. As if we were trying to play God.
The ritual wouldn't exist if it weren't meant to be used.
All I did was buy a portrait. Now look how it turned out.
If we're able to do this tonight, we'll go down in history as the first men to span 7 centuries.
You don't want to forget what that man is looking for.
Shh. Midnight. Here we go. Ready?
I don't like it at all.
Good. That'll add tension. That's good. Here are the words, lad. Let's say them slowly and clearly.
Apsom
Vada
Geta
Lum
An
Jectai Som. Hear anything?
No, just the clock.
What went wrong? Let's see. Quick, drop your branch over the picture. I would forget that. Now the timing's off. Sit very still. It may work yet.
Jason, you believe in too many old wives' tales.
Shh! Don't scoff at things you don't understand. It should begin with the sound of a cold wind. Then we'll hear the hoofbeats of a horse approaching. Just be patient, Roderick.
It didn't work.
I can't understand what went wrong. I was so careful.
Well, that's that for tonight.
Wait. Do you hear it?
The wind.
He's coming. We've won.
No.
In a moment, he'll stand here as big as life.
No, stop it, Jason.
We did it, lad! We did it! You pulled the picture out of the square when we were so close. Why?
I couldn't go through with it. It's unholy, Jason. We shouldn't be doing this.
Lad, I'm disappointed in you. Now we'll have to pick another night to start all over again.
I'm sorry, Jason. You can try again tomorrow if you like.
Busy then. Have to wait till the day after.
Okay, the day after.
All right, at least we are certain now. It's just a question of time until we meet the man in person in this very room.
Brinkley, there's no reason for you to remain up.
Yes, sir. It's quite cool in the library. Shall I bring you a coat?
No, thank you.
Mr. Van Horn did not come tonight.
That's right. It's nearly midnight, Brinkley. I don't want to be disturbed further.
Yes, sir. I quite understand, sir. Ring if you need me, sir.
Yes,
Good night.
Good night. I wonder if I should try it by myself. Jason'd be pretty disappointed if it worked, and he weren't here, though. Cold in this room. Jason thinks it's caused by some field of force around the picture. The portrait. There it hangs above the fireplace. A hooded knight. Like a hangman out of some distant nightmare. Bell's right. It is terrifying. Wait. Can't look away. I'm being hypnotized. No. I did it. Jason was right. Don't stare at the horseman. Lord, it's uncanny. What's the time? 11:50. Should I try? Why not? Have to hurry, though. Take the picture down. Place it on the floor. Where's that tree branch? Oh, it's under the couch. There. Now, draw a square with it around the portrait. Okay. And circle around that. The picture faces north. Now, what did I forget? Something else. Oh, yes. Draw a big circle around the picture and me. Okay. She just made it. The words. Where are the words? Floss them. Oh, no. I was so close. I wrote them down. There must be somewhere. But where? Be too late in the moment. Must be recited at midnight. My pocket. That's it. Here they are. Quick. Read the words. Absam Badha Betha Lum An Jektai Som. Next. Throw the branch on the portrait. There. The wind. I don't hear it. What did I do wrong? I didn't leave out a thing. It's supposed to work. Might as well gather this stuff up and put it back, I guess. Wait. Wind. I did it. Hey. The room seems wavy. Eyes playing tricks on me. Horse. Sounded like a galloping hoofs. He's coming. Midnight horseman. He's heading right for this room. Oh, the room is so wavy. Field of force in the portrait. Should I stop him while I can? How do I know he won't kill? I can pull the picture out of the square and stop him. What should I do? Belle!
Rod! Oh, Rod, darling. Are you all right? Are you all right?
Belle, you spoiled the whole thing.
I was listening outside and I heard everything. Please, darling, stop this while you can. I'm so afraid.
I thought you were asleep. You weren't supposed to know anything about it.
Oh, what you're doing is evil.
But I haven't done a thing yet.
You can, and would if I hadn't stopped you.
Belle, I'm confused. I haven't seen a thing. All that's happened is the sound.
Oh, we're lucky that's all that happened.
I'm sorry, darling. Here, dry the tears.
Promise me, Rod. Promise me you won't try it again.
I can't.
Oh, you'll be sorry.
Make a deal with you. First, I want to see you smile, though.
No.
Yes, come on. A big one.
Oh, Rod. Hold me close.
That's better. Poor little girl. You were frightened. Make a deal with you.
Okay. What is it?
Tomorrow is Friday. Jason's coming over tomorrow night. We'll try once more. And this time, if it doesn't work, we'll quit.
What if it does?
Are you game?
Oh, Rod.
I've got to find out. How about it?
I'm against it. But if you must, well, I want to be here with you.
Check. Just one more time, then. I've got to find out if the Midnight Horseman can be brought into being.
Hello, is this Eric Blum?
That's right.
I'm Miss Ella Case. It's about the portrait you sold Roderick Winfield.
It's quite late, miss.
They've read some kind of symbolism in it.
What? That's the reason I didn't want to sell it. Are you certain?
Some ritual, I believe, they perform at midnight.
Where?
At the Winfields. For all I know, they may try again tonight.
Good Lord, it's 11:30. What is your address, Miss Case?
246 Maple Drive.
Not a moment to lose. Pick you up in 10 minutes. If they bring that man back, I wouldn't give a nickel for their lives.
This is it, Bell and Rod. Nearly 12. This time we go all the way.
I'll let the servants off tonight so it won't be disturbed.
Good. Are you ready, Belle?
Yes. Get it over, Jason. And remember, this is the last time.
I promised it would be.
Take your places. When the clock strikes, throw your branches on the picture and recite the words. Come what may, we won't try to stop it.
Oh, Rod.
Take it easy, Belle. Everything's going to be all right.
The branches, quick! The words now. We'll read them together. Absom, Bada, Yeta, Lum, An, Jactai, Sum.
Rod.
Shh. It should begin now. Listen. I wonder if it'll work again.
Takes time.
Listen. There it is. A horse. It's working. It's working.
Rod, you can still stop him.
I missed the chance of a lifetime. Look, the room. It's getting weighted.
Be quiet. In a moment, a man centuries old will stand before us. Living, breathing.
And hating.
Belle, you promised.
Stop him. It's our last chance. He'll kill us. You've got to stop him.
Too late, Belle. That horse is about to crash through those windows.
I'll pull the picture out myself.
Just like the portrait. Black armor. Black hood. Silver lance. The Midnight Horseman. Am I dreaming? What? He's pointing the lance at me.
Thou hast fulfilled the prophecy. Know ye, I have found the beloved Belinda.
He's taking Belle.
No! Thou knowest me well, Baron, without the hood.
He raised the hood. No! Not you!
Death to thee, Slayer!
Not the lance!
We're too late. They've done it.
Roderick has been killed! Oh, Roderick!
Broken windows. Yes, he's been here. Look! The portrait! There's a change. The lance, it's missing. Good Lord. Buried in Roderick's heart.
No! There's only a bloody hole! But where are Jason and Belle?
The answer is in the portrait.
Let me see. There's a girl riding behind the horseman. Oh, Belle. It's Belle!
Yes. And the hood is now missing from the horseman. You can see his face.
It's Jason. Jason!
You have just heard Macabre, a special Far East Network presentation. Tonight's story was The Midnight Horseman. In our cast were John Buey as Jason, Frankie Oka as Belle, William Verdier as Roderick, Sandra Mori as Ella, Walt Sheldon as Eric Blum, and Milton Radmilovich as Brinkley. Technical supervision was by Airman First Class Larry Dooley, with sound patterns by Airman First Class James Conley. This is Air Force Sergeant Al LePage speaking. Macabre was written and directed by William Verdier.
Greetings, this is Talliazin TTLG invading the frequency of fear. A corpse, clothes and skin caked in grave earth, skulks through the landscape, looking for a family member on whom it might feed its unholy thirst. This is how a vampire might have been portrayed traditionally, but things have moved on, and some, now, have even become artists. Take Henry Fitzroy, bastard son of Henry VIII, vampire and graphic artist. At least that is how he was portrayed in the recent TV series of Blood Ties. In the Tanya Huff book series, on which the TV show was based, he was actually a writer of bodice-ripping romance novels. But I guess the production company didn't think that was hip and trendy enough. One of the episodes actually focuses more on his art than others, when he and Private Eye Vicky Nelson become embroiled in a case involving a haunted canvas and a murderous ghost in the art gallery that is featuring one of his illustrations as part of an exhibition. Sometimes, however, the artist is more traditional in his style. Take Antonio Sordi, played by William Campbell, the central character in the 1966 mess of a film entitled Track of the Vampire. Sordi is an artist whose morbid art is causing quite a stir. His ancestor, it transpires, betrayed his mistress, and her curse now follows Antonio. He becomes possessed by his ancestor's vampiric spirit, and his art is based on actual murder victims, whom he then encases in wax. The film is bad, but it is essentially two films cut together. The low light of the film is a full 8 minutes of interpretive dance on a beach, after which you'll be begging for a vampire to put you out of your misery. In the game Vampire the Masquerade, there is a clan of vampires who are all artists, the Toreador. The game spawned countless novels and a TV series, which did concentrate on Toreador issues during its run. Don't get too excited, however. The series, Kindred the Embrace, was made by the producers of soap opera Sunset Beach, and, whilst it has its moments, never truly rises above its soap opera roots. Of course, it isn't only vampires who can have an artistic bent. In the movie Frost, Portrait of a Killer, the eponymous vampire slayer might have been a badass mercenary, but he liked nothing more than relaxing before a canvas and painting. Who would have guessed that a man who could take down a Russian helicopter gunship in the Afghanistani desert would have such an artistic soul? The film isn't great, but do watch out for Gary Busey's role as a blind art gallery owner. To get information on many more vampire movies and books, visit Taliesin Meets the Vampires at taliesinTTLG.blogspot.com. Alternatively, find the link in the links of the Zombie Astronaut.
Now, fellow astronauts, I must be fair. Evil though these paintings may be, they only could have become so through the direct will of the painter. Our next story deals with a painter who's new to the craft, just as he's new to the craft of murder. Listen now to the Finger of Fate episode, A Specialist in Still Lifes.
Finger of Fate. In every man's life, there comes a moment when fate takes a hand. When his course of action is inescapably dictated, his road revealed by the Finger of Fate.
Listen in a few moments to A Specialist in Still Lifes.
Where the heck she got to? Oh, all these people, all yakking on about that freaky art show next door. Oh, where's a lace, for goodness sake?
Darling, he knows his craft so well, but I certainly wouldn't call him an artist.
But did you see Sorry Pennington's sculpture?
No. Do tell me. What was it really like?
She used real livestock, would you believe?
Real livestock? So what's happened to tradition?
Tradition? Who cares about that old thing nowadays? Oh, my. Oh, pardon me.
What? Don't bother. I have another foot. Where do all these people come from? Weird clothes, weirder faces. What the heck am I doing here anyway? I guess I'll move back into the restaurant. There aren't so many people there. Just excuse me, will you?
Just let me pass. Excuse me. Yep, thank you. Excuse me.
What's that?
Would you mind if I sat here for a few minutes? I'm supposed to meet my wife, and there are so many people around.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, sit down.
Oh, thanks.
You won't mind if I carry on eating?
No. Please do.
I know what wives are.
All these arty people.
You been to the show?
The art show?
What else? Isn't that what they are all talking about, this mob in here? Real art lovers.
Well, I don't know what everybody's talking about, really. I'm not too well up on modern art myself.
You see that woman over there?
Huh?
The skinny one with black hair leaning over the bar?
Oh, yeah.
You know her?
No?
I do. Bettina Clark Resnikoff, a friend of my wife's. She writes the art column for the Weekly Herald. Don't have anything to do with her. Anything at all.
What do you mean?
If you really want an answer to that question, I can tell you, but it's a long story. In fact, I'd like to tell somebody, and a stranger might understand even better than a friend.
Well, sure, go ahead.
A lot of this story has to do with my marriage, and it's rather personal, but just bear with me, if you will, and you'll get the total effect. And maybe I'll have taught you something.
Taught me something?
You see, we had a really happy marriage, Sophie and I. Not exciting, but normal. Sophie was a little on the domineering side, but frankly, I didn't mind that. In fact, at that stage, her get up and go lent a spark to our relationship. At that stage, we had the usual hobbies and routines.
Sam, it's got to stop.
Uh-huh. And what's got to stop, Sophie?
Oh, just look at us. Sophie and Sam Roseman.
Uh-huh.
We play bridge with the Baileys on Wednesdays. We go to movies Saturday, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I play canaster and go to Weight Watchers.
Yep.
You go bowling. Mm-hmm. Like I say, it's got to stop.
You bored with marriage already, Sophie?
Oh, Sam, you know I'm not. Oh, it's only that, well, we're in a rut. And I am going to get us out of that rut.
Oh.
Sam, I'm going to painting classes Saturday afternoons.
Painting? Oh, that's nice. What'll you paint? Houses?
Okay, you can laugh, Sam Roseman, but you wait. Pretty soon I'll have you painting, too. You'll see if I don't. You'll be there right along of me.
Well, I thought painting. Oh, so it's just another craze? Like flower arranging or those things they do with folded paper. It won't last. But it did. And pretty soon she had me going to classes with her. And what's more, I was enjoying those classes. Although Sophie and I, right from the start, well, we didn't paint the same subjects.
Now, Mrs. Roseman, let's see how your little abstract is getting along.
There, Miss Lakewell.
Yes. I see. I must say, I really go for that bold accretion of color. And the shapes, most exciting.
Oh.
Good work.
Why, thank you, Miss Lakewell.
And you, Mr. Roseman? Oh, I realize it's early days yet, but how's your study doing?
Well, take a look, Miss Lakewell.
Ah, a flower study.
Mm-hmm.
How charming. Yes. Oh, yes, indeed. I like it.
Sam, let me see.
Well, how do you like it, Sophie?
Flowers. Oh, Sam, isn't that rather ordinary? I mean, flowers.
It's very charming, Mr. Roseman. Very charming.
Why, thank you, Miss Lakewell.
Sam, I do believe you're enjoying these classes almost as much as I am.
Sophie, you know, I do believe you're right.
But flowers. I mean, how unoriginal can you get, for heaven's sake?
You see, right from the start, there it was, that little note of criticism. She carped. So we didn't paint the same things. Well, what did it matter? I liked my watercolors, my small, detailed flower studies. She went for bold, splashy abstracts. Okay, so it suited her personality. And then she started winning prizes.
Of course, I don't expect to win anything. I only entered because I thought I should. After all, what have I got to lose?
Well, nothing, Sophie.
Ladies and gentlemen. Folks, please. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a lot of pleasure to announce to you the prize winner in the Maple Hill Shopping Complex Artist of the Month.
Oh, Sam, I'm so nervous.
Sophie.
In the first prize for the painting entitled Struggle,
Sam, that's my
goes to Mrs. Sophie Roseman of 206 Crescent Street.
Oh, why, Sophie, that's wonderful. Quite wonderful. Oh, first prize.
Well, of course, I never thought I'd get first. But it shows the judges know a thing or two.
Oh, congratulations, Mrs. Roseman. I'm delighted.
Oh, thank you, Miss Lakewell.
I guess you won't want our little painting classes anymore. Now you're a contest winner, will you?
No, Miss Lakewell. I guess I won't.
Excuse me. Is this the prize winner?
Yes.
My name is Bettina Clark Reznikov. I write the art column in the Weekly Herald.
Oh.
I wonder, could I have a few words with you?
Oh, why, of course. Sam, would you, I'll see you at the car?
Oh, yes, Sophie, of course. Come on, Miss Lakewell. Let's go take a look at the other exhibits, shall we?
Mrs. Roseman.
Oh, call me Sophie.
Sophie, I'd very much like to write something about you for my column this week.
Oh.
Maybe you could come to my office tomorrow and we could talk. I mean, talk in depth about your work.
Work, but I only started painting a short while ago as a hobby. Sam, my husband, and I started going to classes to pass the time.
Well, I've been writing and talking on art for some years now. And I'd say that you have a truly original spirit. I'd go further and say that in a few years, Sophie Roseman will be a power to be reckoned with in the world of art.
Well, that's what she said. A power to be reckoned with. Now, don't get me wrong. I was as pleased as Sophie that she'd won a prize. But I couldn't help noticing that things were changing between us. And once Bettina Clark Reznikov appeared on the scene, things started changing with great rapidity. Bettina visited our home soon after that.
Charming, quite charming.
Oh, that's a comfortable home.
Of course, for a free spirit like your wife, I expect she finds it a bit constricting. It must cramp her style.
I don't think so.
I mean to say, velvet drapes in the living room.
What's wrong with them?
My dear Mr. Roseman, nobody hangs velvet drapes anymore. Nobody at all.
What's that, Bettina?
She says velvet's out.
Oh, I know. I was meaning to talk to you about that, Sam. I'm having the entire living room redecorated next week.
You are?
Yes, Brinker Mel Mason's consented to do us over.
Brinker? Why, Sophie, you'll be the envy of everybody in town. Brinker does the most exciting things with people's homes.
I don't want the living room changed. I like it the way it is.
Sam, we won't argue now.
I think we will, Sophie. This living room was fine when we married. What's wrong with it now all of a sudden?
Sam, not in front of our guest.
And tell me, Sophie, where do you do your work? Where's the creative center for you?
Oh, I don't have a proper studio yet. Sam and I have been using the garage. The car stands in the driveway.
No studio? Oh, why, my goodness. I don't see how you create those wonderful, bold visions in a garage. No, if this was my house, you know what I'd do?
No?
I'd forget about getting Brinker Mel Mason in to redo this room. I'd rip everything out, but everything. And I'd tear out those windows, and I'd put in clear glass, floor to ceiling. And I'd use this room as a studio.
But this is the living room. Where would we live?
Oh, I'm not suggesting you do this. Of course, it's only my little notion.
You know, Bettina, you have a point. The light is good in here, and I've been thinking of using really large canvases, and this would be the only place to work. Oh, Sam, you wouldn't mind too much, would you?
Sophie, if you touch this living room, so help me, I'll burn your canvases and your paints.
Oh, you men. Always so stuffy and hidebound. Can't you realize that your wife is an original, something to be cherished and fostered?
Sophie may be as original as she likes, but this is my home, and what I say goes. The living room stays just the way it is, and that's final.
Now don't be sulky, Sam. There's still a study and the kitchen and your bedroom for you to sit in. And you have to admit, without those small windows, with the drapes gone, with the walls stripped, this living room does make a wonderful studio for me. Oh, I can really create here. I know your trouble, Sam Roseman. You're not original. I am.
Sophie, you watch out. If you're not careful, you'll push me too far. I blame the whole thing on that Bettina Clark-Resnikoff. The woman is a vampire, an articulate vampire, and her big thing is accusing people of not being original. And she really cultivated Sophie. They spent hours on the telephone yakking to each other. They visited art shows together. They joined clubs. And always at home it was Bettina says or Bettina thinks, until I could have cheerfully murdered the woman. But I didn't. Oh, no. That's not what I did.
My wife wants me to take up painting, now that she started.
Well, you take my advice. Don't. You keep on with your bowling and your woodworking or whatever it is you do. You keep clear of the painting. Yep, it was this word original. It began to haunt me. So where's my breakfast this morning, Sophie?
Breakfast? Oh, Sam, nobody eats a hot breakfast these days. Nobody at all.
I do.
You did. Not anymore. There's cold cereal in the kitchen. Oh, I have so much to get on with.
I want my breakfast.
Now, Sam, don't be grouchy.
And another thing, now that you've taken over the living room for your painting, where am I supposed to paint?
You call those realistic little flower studies painting?
Of course.
Oh, Sam, if only I could make you realize nobody wants realism nowadays. Nobody at all. People like a little flair, something different.
I like painting flowers.
Well, I guess you can go on working in the garage. You don't need much room, do you? Not like me. Do you know what Bettina said to me yesterday?
I don't think I want to know.
She said that if one wants to be truly original, one has to stop using paint altogether.
Huh?
So I'm going to start using cracker crumbs.
Your what?
Yes, cracker crumbs and wood chips. Anything that comes to hand. It's called collage. You sort of collect things and throw them at the canvas. That's original now, not like your silly little flowers.
Now, Sophie, don't you forget what I said. You watch out, or you'll push me too far.
But that's just what you need, Sam. You need to be pushed. Maybe if I do push you, you'll show some originality.
No, I will not give up my bowling evening, Sophie. I enjoy bowling.
Oh, Sam, it's so unoriginal. Sam, I guess we'll stop those bridge evenings with the Baileys.
But I enjoy them.
But I mean to say, bridge. Nobody plays bridge these days. Nobody at all.
Sophie, what have you done with the armchair from my den?
It's gone, Sam.
Yes, I know it's gone, but where's it gone?
I got rid of it. There's a new chair coming for you today. Clear, inflatable plastic. Oh, you'll love it.
Well, I didn't love it. In fact, I hated it. Every time I sat on the darn thing, it would deflate. But the thing that worried me most was the change in Sophie. Every day you could see it happening.
You mean clothes, that sort of thing?
Oh, if only that was all. Oh, sure, that Bettina got her onto wearing outlandish clothes. Sackcloth and beads and sandals.
My wife wears sandals.
Burn them, son. They're the beginning of the end. No, it was far deeper than that. It was this word, original. Okay, so she was a better painter than me. Well, that didn't worry me. So long as I could sit at my easel in the garage painting my delicate little flower pictures, I was happy. But that didn't suit Sophie or Bettina. And I knew the end was coming.
Sam? Are you there?
Yes, Sophie, I'm here. Come and see what I've done.
Come on, Bettina. He's in here.
Hello, Sam.
Oh, Bettina.
So, what are you doing, Sam?
Take a look. I've just about finished it.
Daisies, would you believe? Daisies in a blue bowl.
Oh, Sam, how could you?
What do you mean, how could I? It's a nice little picture. It's real.
Realism?
Sam, I told you. Who's going for realism? Oh, it's so unoriginal.
Sophie, did I tell you about this guy over at Oyster Cove who's painting directly on skin?
Skin?
Yes, he painted his wife. It was so original. He painted beautiful abstract patterns all over her, and she won a special trophy at the summer show there.
Painting on skin.
And why not? I tell you, Sam Roseman, if you ever did something like that, I'd have some respect for you.
I can't see Sam producing an original work like that, Sophie. Can you? He's so totally unoriginal.
Bettina, I think you'd better get out of here. I'm not given to violence, but I could be tempted. Now you get out. Both of you. You both get out and leave me in peace.
And of course, it was written up in all the papers with pictures.
I saw it. Magnificent work. Original.
You hear that, friend? That horrible word.
Yeah, I'm beginning to see what you mean.
Well, of course, after I'd ordered Bettina and Sophie out of my studio, I knew I'd gone too far. I knew there was only one logical step after that. Sophie was going to accuse me of not being original enough for her.
Surely not.
Oh, yes. It came to a head exactly 2 days ago.
2 days?
Yes. I was sitting in the garage painting when Sophie walked in.
Sam Roseman, I want to talk to you.
Oh, yes?
Take a look at these plans.
Plans? What sort of plans?
For our new house.
New house? What's wrong with this house?
Oh, Sam, nobody lives in this sort of house anymore. Nobody at all. Now, I'm giving you a chance to do something truly original for a change. Take a look at this. Designed by one of the leading young architects in town.
But this isn't a house?
Of course it is.
But it's egg-shaped. I wouldn't want to live in an egg-shaped house. No, Sophie, I'm sorry. You take those plans back to Bettina and you tell her no.
I see. And that's your last word?
Yes, Sophie.
Very well. In that case, I've got something else to say to you. I've thought it over very carefully. I've also discussed it at length with Bettina.
Well, what is it this time?
We don't really have anything in common, you and I, do we? I'm becoming so original as a personality, and you're so ordinary. I want a divorce.
Divorce? Sophie, but what for? Why? I've never stood in your way. I've gone along with all your schemes.
Oh, it's no use talking about it, Sam. My mind's made up.
But
I'm seeing Bettina's attorney this morning.
But, Sophie...
I'm sorry, Sam. We've had 23 good years together, but you see, I didn't really know who I was during that time, and now I'm beginning to find myself. Besides, you know... You haven't been happy over the past few months, have you?
But things will come right.
You don't want to change. That's your trouble. You like to stand still. See what I mean? That little painting of yours. Now look at it. That's just what Bettina meant all along. No originality. Oh, completely predictable. Sam? I want a divorce immediately. I know now that you'll never do anything new.
Oh, predictable, am I? You think I'm completely predictable?
Go!
No.
No! Damn it! Damn, you're hurting
Go on.
me. Let go of my throat.
So here's one original thing. This is something I've never done before. Something original, altogether new for me. This. Oh dear. Sophie? No, she's dead. Quite dead. She looks very peaceful. But there's something missing. Something she needs to make her look quite perfect. I know. She lacks color. She needs painting. So I remembered what Sophie and Bettina had talked about. Some man who painted his wife, painted on her skin. And I got Sophie's paints. Watercolors wouldn't do, you see. And I painted her. I made her nose a rich yellow, and her cheeks a deep cobalt blue, and her mouth an acid green, very vivid. But it didn't work very well because the paint kept dribbling from the corners of her lips. I guess it's because I hadn't worked like that before. I didn't know the technique. But by the time I'd finished, she really looked very interesting. And then I realized that I wasn't alone. Oh, hello, Bettina.
Sam, what are you... What's that?
Oh, it's Sophie.
Why is she lying there?
It was easier than hoisting her into a chair.
Is she dead?
Oh, yes. Yes, I strangled her. Take a look. Don't you think that's a most fascinating effect? Original, wouldn't you say?
Sam, you're mad. You've painted Sophie.
That's right. I thought bold colors for her, nothing pale and drab. So I used the rich shades. I'm rather pleased with it. I rather think it's the best thing I've ever done. Come and take a closer look. Come along, Bettina. Perhaps you'd like me to paint you, too, just as I've painted her. It doesn't take long, and I could exhibit the two of you. Still lifes. Very still lifes. I'll become a specialist in still lifes.
No!
So you see, friend, you keep your wife away from painting.
You kill your wife?
Oh, yes. Oh, but it was her fault. You do see that, surely.
Mr. Sam Roseman?
Yes?
Police. Homicide.
Oh, dear. Oh, you'll want me to come along with you, I expect. Oh, you'll have to excuse me, I'm afraid, friend. I've enjoyed talking to you. Goodbye.
And dig that music. It's like the stuff you hear in Nightfall, only funkier. Well, fellow astronauts, that about wraps things up. We'll hear you again in 2 weeks over the frequency of fear.
This has been the Zombie Astronauts Frequency of Fear. For more horror, sci-fi, and suspense audio, see the website at www.zombieastronaut.net. Right now!
The theme song was performed by W. Ralph Walters, using elements of the original theme song by Norm Bourgeois and the theme to Night Gallery, written by Gil Millet.